Guys, what's up? Welcome to my video. So I'm having issues with my Honda Element. This is a 2005 Honda Element. It's got a high mileage, 226,000, 163 226,000 163 miles. So I bought this like a month ago for like $2,000 on Craigslist. 2 months ago probably. But it drove fine for like, I test drove the car. Everything looked okay. And then a day later, after I got the car and then, I didn't actually use the car. I let it sit for like maybe a week. All right. So a week goes by. I start the car every now and then. But I noticed the check engine light came on. Check engine light came on. So I'm like, I did a OBD2 scan on it. And it says there was a misfire on cylinder 2. So, I had another car, so I was using this as my other car just in case, just in emergencies. I really didn't think much of it. I thought it was maybe the coils and the spark plugs. I bought brand new coils, spark plugs from Craigslist. On eBay. And swapped the spark plugs and the coils out, and and I cleared the check engine light with my OBD sensor of my OBD2 reader, and it was cleared. Took it for a drive, nothing showed up. Next day, when I tried to start the car, the check engine soon light popped up, and it was the same thing as cylinder 2, misfire in cylinder 2. So I'm like, it's gotta be. So I looked it up. Fuel injectors. So I bought fuel injectors, 4 fuel injectors. Might as well just swap all of them out. It's got 225,000 miles on it. Swap them out. And funny thing is, I didn't swap them out. I drove it for a little while. This became my main car. My Nissan Altima I gave, and I no longer drive that car. But I drove this car for a little bit, and the check engine light on this car cleared. So I was driving it all around, maybe putting like a couple of 100 miles, hundred miles on it, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. Maybe I don't have to change the the fuel injectors. I had it around. I was probably gonna change it at some point, but I didn't have to change it soon. So what I did was, I drove it around a couple hundred miles. It was more than a couple hundred miles. Like 500 miles or whatever. And all of a sudden, one day when I was driving, this check engine soon I cleared like a while ago. 500 miles later, it may have been a lot more than 500 miles. 1,000 miles. I'm driving on the freeway, and all of a sudden, I'm feeling the misfire. I'm feeling the misfire on the car, and the check engine light on this car started blinking. And I'm like, this is a cold day, by the way. This is like one of the coldest days in New York. So I got off the freeway. I'm like, you know what? I have my tools. Might as well change out all the fuel injectors. So I changed out all the fuel injectors, put everything back together, and this was an absolute freezing day. Didn't want to do it that day, at that moment, but I was like, get off the freeway and put it in. I put it in. Took me like probably like an hour to do, hour and a half. Gonna probably do another video on that some other time. But so I drove fine afterwards, but the check engine light was still on, and I thought I thought if I drove it a little bit while, it would clear on its own, which it did. It cleared, and I drove it another 300 miles afterwards. After that, no issues at all. No check engine light came on, but it came on, and that I had that issue where it started blinking, and then my car started misfiring. I did an OBD2 check on it, and instead of cylinder 2 misfire or cylinder 3 misfire, the last time before I changed the fuel injectors, it read cylinder 2 and 3 instead of cylinder 2, and after I changed all of it, it started reading cylinder 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, This is 4 cylinder, 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 cylinders, and there was a code for the fuel being lean and stuff. But after I drove it, it cleared, the code cleared. But 300 miles later, I'm like driving on the streets, and all of a sudden it started blinking. I mean, I thought that changing the fuel injector would have changed the whole entire issue, but it started blinking, and I started feeling the misfire. This is now a prevalent thing because it's not going away. The check engine soon I came on, there's a misfire. I got out of my car, I cleaned the negatives from where the fuel injector has like a couple wires that actually has a negative connection to the engine, which is kind of weird. I don't know why it's not just completely connected, closed circuit, like connected directly to whatever switches, but whatever. Anyway, I kept on driving, and this whole entire day, the check engine soon light came, it's on, it's off, it started misfiring, and I parked my car, turned on, and it died out on me once. And I'm like, hopefully it'll go away. Hopefully it's not like something that's like really, really serious. So, I was hoping that cleaning the negative to those lines that were from the fuel injector would have done the trick. I was hoping, crossing my fingers, but apparently it didn't do the trick. So I'm looking for answers. I'm looking around for answers, and only couple of things I could think of was a vacuum leak from one of the tubes. It doesn't look like it. I mean, it doesn't look like it's a vacuum leak from one of the tubes. Tubing looks really fine. By the way, I was smelling gas. I was smelling gas when that happened. When it's misfiring, it's smelling really strong gas, and I was smelling strong gas when the first time, it started blinking and stuff. Before I changed the fuel injectors, it was, I smelled a strong hint of gas. But, so I'm like, what else could I do? It could be the fuel, the fuel pump, the fuel filter, and on this car, the fuel filter, I was going to change out the fuel filter. The fuel filter is inside the gas tank, and it doesn't come separately from the pump, so I'm going to have to get a new pump. Went to AutoZone, asked for the price, and the guy said $200. I'm going to buy it off eBay for $80, and I'm going to do it myself, but I can't do it now. But I ended up changing this map sensor. I was looking for the mass airflow sensor on here, but 2005 Element does not have it. I believe Honda doesn't have it at all. And instead of a mass airflow sensor, they have a map sensor. So I ended up changing this up. No, I didn't change this up. This cost about $63 from AutoZone. And once I heard that price, I'm like, why don't I just clean it out first? Why don't I clean it out first before I consider buying it? Probably wouldn't have bought it anyway for $60. But you guys are taking this off. This screw right here is absolutely. I mean, this car has 225,000 miles on it, so this screw was absolutely stuck. I had to use an impact screwdriver to get this out. Almost messed up the pattern on here, but I cleaned it and put it back in. I'm probably gonna get a new one of these anyway, order a new one of these anyway, but right now it seems to be running okay, and the check engine light is still on. It seems to be running okay. I'm hoping that this is the issue, because this is the only car I have right now. Hopefully this is the issue and not the fuel pump, because I'm going to order the fuel pump. I'm going to change it anyway, but I'm not going to change it today. Hopefully I don't have to change it today. If I had to, I probably would. I'm not going to do it. So my next step up is I'm going to change the air filter. Ever since I bought this car, I haven't actually done much to it. I've changed the brakes, changed the oil, engine oil, and I just did that yesterday. I put on like 2,000 miles before I did that, and because I haven't had time and it was been cold out, and I always do my own car work. But my next step is to, I actually cleaned this part out. I'm not quite sure what this part is on here. I know I read up on it, but I took this part out, I cleaned it up. This filter right here, I'm gonna take it out right now, and I'm gonna switch that up and see if that actually help solve this issue, or help solve this issue right now. You know, help alleviate the issue, help it a little bit. But funny thing is, when I did some research on it, I heard that the battery, a weak battery, could actually cause issues with misfire, which stunned me, because I didn't know that could actually occur, considering, I mean, outside of starting the car up, the battery is only used to charging it up. Everything works off the alternator after that. But we'll see what happens. I'm gonna keep you guys updated on this, because it's really annoying to me. It's not annoying to me, just trying to figure out what the issue is, because I swapped out a couple of things on here. Spark plugs, the coils, fuel injectors. I mean, they had to be changed anyway, so it's not really one of those big deals. They had to be changed anyway, so I swapped them out. You know? So I'm not complaining about that. And as far as this, I'm gonna swap it out. I'm gonna swap it out once I get the part from eBay. I'm gonna check out the air filter and swap that out. If if it's really dirty, I'm guessing it's really pretty dirty, because it doesn't look like it's been touched in a while. But we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. I know these misfires sometimes they're pretty easy to solve, because sometimes it's just the coils or the spark plug. Other times, like these kind of situations where it could be so many other things, and you can just troubleshoot it by just putting different parts in it. Hopefully it'll work. I'm gonna swap this out. Hopefully it cleared everything. Hopefully it's actually hopefully this was the cause of the issue, because it's running okay now since I changed it out. Hopefully that was the cause of it. If not, my next step is probably to I'm gonna switch out the air filter, and after that, my last course on this is the last thing I could do on this is change the fuel pump, which I'm gonna do anyway. It might be the fuel filter. Read up on it. I don't know what else what else it could be outside of that. But we'll see. I'm just doing a bunch of troubleshooting right now, and hopefully this is hopefully I'll get to that one thing that's causing the issue. Maybe a couple of things that's causing the issue, but I should be able to just find it. I mean, I've done there might be just a couple of things that I need to look at. This being one of them, the air filter being one of them. I don't think that's the real main cause of it, but I'd have to swap it out anyway. And outside of that, the fuel pump, which I hope it's not, because I'm gonna have to wait a couple of days for it to get to me. But I'll keep you guys updated.